It's Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and we have an exciting week this week. We are all about mindfulness, so we are jumping in this week. We have 2 success groups that are kicking off. It is the key steps to live a happier and healthier life, part 2. The success groups will follow that. We have a girls group, which is a professional women's group. So we're talking about relationships. We're talking about work-life balance. Like, how do we build our lives as we're just stepping into the world on our own? And how do we let go of that implicit messaging that comes in as a part of us trying to discover who we are and individuate from our old nuclear family as we try to build a new nuclear family and kind of search for that right person to build our life with. So we've got a lot of great things that are happening in the women's professional group. And then we have a men's group on Tuesdays, which is going to be focused on growing up out of relationships. So as we found heartbreak and we found that men have kind of this really core sense of self to be a father, a provider, a husband, they find themselves lost after losing these long-term relationships, whether they're finishing a divorce. Many are kind of just getting into the game of separation. Some just got the bomb dropped on them that their partner wants to leave. And so we're going to be looking through that. And both groups will be following part 2 of the key steps to live a happier, healthier life, emotional regulation. So we have 3 key steps. The first was really the success, understanding your vision of success and building goals. And then we looked at all the ways in which the stressors in our life pull us from our internal focus and our success and moved us to comparison and external validation. We're now doing emotional regulation, which is going to be really fun. And then we're going to look at grief beyond loss. We're looking at distress tolerance. We're looking at a lot of different archetypes in our self-value, gratitude and suffering, perceived expectations, and manifesting positive energy. And then the core of it all is this understanding of universal constructs. And universal constructs are the 5 key things that we must all need. And when we don't, that is a big trigger that pulls us into that implicit brain. And we just start reacting very, very, very quickly. And I've got a great map for you to see once we get to that. So that's kind of what the next 9 weeks unfolds for us, is we're going to release the book. We're going through the success group. I'm doing it on the YouTube just like I am, going through the group. So chapter 1 in the book is part 1, day 1 in the group. And that is what we're focused on in our YouTube channel. So the theme of the week is mindfulness. We always start with mindfulness because it is grounding. It is the foundation to wellness. We cannot be well unless we're in the here and now, and we can't stay well unless we look at the here and now without any judgment. There's no shame in this game. So sit back and learn some really great things about how to be mindful. How do we stay in a present state? How do we optimize when we are in a triggered state? How do we make that into a valued state? There's so much things that we're going to learn this week. Subscribe, stay attuned to all of the things that we're going to talk about. I've got a really great program for you. Thank you so much. Hi, it's Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and we are talking all about mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? What do we do with it? We keep talking about it. It seems like it's just everywhere, but what does it really mean? Mindfulness is the practice of focusing attention on the present here and now. There's no judgment. You're just taking information for what it is, seeing if it serves you, and then if it doesn't serve you, send it down the river of life. And if it does serve you, then look at it and start asking questions about it. What is it serving? Is life asking me to serve it? Is it serving me? What do I want to do with this? How does this fit with my values and my beliefs? And so the importance of mindfulness is there's very profound effects that we see. The science behind it is that there are really profound effects when you can live in the here and now, when you can ground in the here and now. We find that we have less stress. That implicit brain is not freaking out all the time. It's just, we're just one with the universe. We're just allowing life to happen to us. And we can focus better because we're not on the what if train. We're sitting on the platform and just watching it go by. Our emotional regulation is definitely stronger. It allows us to just take information in as the data it provides us, instead of providing assumptions of whether or not this is bad for us or is a threat or a harm. That negative bias really gets the emotions starting to amp up very quickly. And then it boosts neuroplasticity. What does that mean? It means we're rewiring our brain. So instead of going straight to the amygdala where we get emotion and we react and we start going through that hallway of where have I been here before? I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed. We look at life for the opportunity and the data that it provides for us. And then we decide what we want to do with that. You know, is it valid data? Is it invalid data? Is this something that goes on the work spreadsheet? Does it go on the personal spreadsheet? Does it go on the relationship spreadsheet? Is this data that's here and now, or is this data from like the 80s? So it gives us an opportunity to be in a logic, action-oriented mindset where we take in the data that is presented at the right moment, right now, and then we do whatever we want to with it. And we can categorize it very quickly because we're not enmeshing that data into our past. We're not letting our past data enmesh and mess up and invalidate our present data. And so why does this happen? Well, if we look back evolutionarily at our mind, we find that there is this default mode network that is built, and that's your implicit brain. And so back in the amygdala and that temporal lobe, there is a bunch of different memory. We have automatic memory, we have sensory memory, we have implicit memory, we have explicit memory. We have a lot of different memories happening. And all of that plays with our trauma and our trauma reactions. It plays with our stress, it plays with our emotion, it plays with our ability to be in the here and now. So as we became more civilized as humans, we didn't need to anticipate threats as much as we did when we were kind of archaic back in 1 billion years ago. And so, but we lost that, you know, that negative bias sticks with us. And even though we don't need it, that neural network is very, very strongly ingrained because it's a survival function. The more that we can anticipate threats and plan for the future, the more that we are going to be safe and secure. That's one of our universal constructs. Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about that later in a couple of weeks. And so the mind built this protective network to be able to understand the world and to start gathering data from the world so that we know exactly when we're safe, and when we're not safe, we know exactly how to respond quickly. And that's the amygdala, and that's the long hallway. And there's a lot of rooms in there of past stressors. And the problem is that it gathered data in a time where we were stressed, which means black and white thinking. We don't have spatial reasoning when we're in a stressed state. So we're getting very concrete information, good or bad, yes or no. It's programmed at your developmental level when you actually came into that stress state. So again, there's a lot of concrete thinking. When you are 6, you know that you're either a good little girl or you're a bad little girl. You don't know that good girls do bad things sometimes and bad people do good things. You just know that you're either bad or you are good. And so there's a lot of mixed, complicated, entangled messaging that doesn't necessarily make sense. And that's where cognitive dissonance comes in. And so, there's a need for this. It helps us with fight, flight, freeze. And fight, flight, freeze can serve us to push us forward, which we talked about last week. But it also is there to hold us back. And so we want that sweet spot where it's pushing us forward and not holding us back. And while, it's beneficial for creativity and problem solving, an overactive default mode network really leads to a lot of this mental chatter happening in our brains. It makes us very anxious. It makes us very self-critical, and it really prevents us from having a sense of happiness. And when we can be mindful, then we can build a quiet space for this DMN network. That was redundant. This DMN, and we can stop allowing it to be the first line of defense and instead really create these mantras that we are safe, that we are secure, that we are going to be okay, so that we can just take in information and respond to it as necessary, whatever it is we want to do with it. But find a data point. Don't find an emotion. And so what we want is to find all those data points, and go into that prefrontal executive function. Find the action-oriented. Don't get into the reactionary. Do not get into the emotion. Really want the rational thoughts and lessen those emotional reactions. So what are some misconceptions about what mindfulness is? Many people think that mindfulness is emptying the mind, like we're just letting go of everything and we just don't care. And that's not it. It's about observing thoughts without judgment. We're not erasing. We're not repressing. We're not like that junk closet in your mind. We can't have it. It's a junk drawer. It's a junk closet. Think of Tom and Jerry. And, they have all that sporting equipment, and then Jerry goes and hides in it, and then all of a sudden everything explodes. Like, that is repression in your mind. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to free our mind and say we don't need judgment here. There's no shame in the game. We just want to be present. Another misconception is that mindfulness is a relaxation technique. Although it is relaxing to have mindfulness, it is not necessarily a relaxation technique. Grounding is a relaxation technique. Mindfulness is being in a present state. It is a state of being, not an activity that we do. Hope that makes sense. And the last common misconception is I'm too restless to practice mindfulness. My mind is chaotic. It's not going to happen. And then I just feel bad about myself, and I don't want to feel like a failure. I'm trying to do something for myself. I'm not trying to feel like a failure. Happens all the time. Restlessness is a sign that mindfulness is needed, not that it shouldn't be done. And it can completely transform your life as you try to focus on it. So let's looking at how we can transform restlessness into focus, because this one is for you. This is your video. If you feel like you do not or will not be successful and it will kick you into a negative cycle, then you really do need this video. So what we want to do is we first want to recognize that it's there. Like, I've got so much going on. There's just too much happening, and I need this. I need that brain. I am a project manager. If I see things way down the road, then I'm going to be successful at my job. And people pat me on the back, and I love that accolade. I want that. I want to anxiously know everything that can go wrong and how to go wrong, and then I'm going to tell you how to fix it. That is my role. I've been really successful at it. Let's keep going. This is for you. This video is for you. You can remember, fight, flight, or freeze. There's a certain fine line where it pushes you forward, but it will also hold you back, and that anxious energy will hold you back. And if you are somebody who is a big planner, I guarantee you have 10 threats out there. 3 actually maybe ones that you consider. 1 is one that you will only use. So you have wasted 70% of your time planning these threats, while only 30% of the time you'll actually use it. That's holding you back. Do you know how much you could have done for yourself and how much wasted value you had to put this out there in the working world? And you could have been bettering yourself. You could have been calming yourself. You could have been healing yourself. So yes, there are times where this really helps you professionally, and there are times where it holds you back. So when we have that restless mind, we accept that we have a restless mind. It is running. And there are times where we really like it, and that's okay. We're not trying to take it all away. We're trying to find that fine line and stay on the positive of it. So notice the sensations without judgment. Just start naming. Naming, don't blame, right? Okay, when I have a restless mind, okay, whoa, look at those shoulders. Okay, well, apparently my shoulders are in my ear when I'm restless. Okay, well, let's put that. Where's my hands? What's this? I'm in like fighting. I fight, I guess. I'm a fighter. I'm not a flighter or a freezer. I'm a fighter. Okay. All right, well, let me look at that. Oh, let my body start to naturally heal it. I'm doing some somatic therapy with my clients, and if you really want to get in touch with your body and start to naturally heal it and allow it to heal itself, please reach out to me. We've got some really great things that are happening with our clients. So we're just recognizing our body. We're recognizing the restlessness. There's no shame or judgment. Just name it, okay? I'm worried. I'm scared. I'm tight, I'm restricted, I'm blocking. Whatever the case may be, just keep throwing the words out there. Keep the noticing. Chronic stress and trauma creates a phobia for our body. The more that we can notice it and connect with it, the more that we're going to find a better connection, a more present connection, and less judgment within the connection. And then we're going to redirect the energy. So we're going to do some somatic exercises. We're going to do some things that give us more agency. So instead of the body having these reactions and we had no agency over it, it's a universal construct. We'll talk about it later. Put a little pinhole on that one. Then what we're trying to do is reframe that, because implicitly you keep telling yourself you're stressed and you have no agency or control. Can you think about times in the past where you were highly stressed and you had no agency and control? You are partying in the past, and it is hanging out every single day in your present. So the more that you have agency and control by saying, woo, there is a lot happening here, and I did choose 10, but you're right, I only need 3. So let me go find my 3. I'm going to go on a walk, and at the end of the walk, I'm going to achieve 3 threats that are actually out there, and I'm going to eliminate the 7 that are not. And then I'll go and work on those 3 threats. So we're redirecting the energy. We're regaining a sense of agency and control. And then we're grounding. There's that grounding again. We are grounding and anchoring into the present. So we're taking deep breaths. We're counting. We're doing the square breathing, 4, 7, 8 breathing, whatever it is that is in your toolbox. We're taking that time to find our here and now, connect back with our body, and be present in a present state. And there's a lot of ways in which we can do this, but a step-by-step guide to find this mindful practice is create a comfortable space. Find your space for mindfulness. Find a place in your office that is your mindful space. Find a place in your home that is your mindful space. Cherish it, value it. Do not put electronics in that space. Do not have anything that is distracting in that space or that can feed a negative narrative. Find your comfortable, quiet, distraction-free space. Then set an intention. It doesn't matter. We're beginning this and we have a restless mind, man. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. It's not even 15 minutes, and the most distracted person can do 15 minutes. I'm asking for 30 seconds. Set a timer. Set an intention of what you want. What do you want from that session? What is it that What is it that you want to achieve? Do you want focus? Do you want calm? Do you want presence? Do you want answers? What do you want out of that session? And then find your focused moment. Close your eyes, take a deep breath through your nose, and slowly exhale. Start noticing that rise and fall. You can even put your hands, I'll go a little high, it's my diaphragm anyways. You can put your hands on your diaphragm. Force your hands up. Use your diaphragm. Do the diaphragm breathing. It really will help you. And then just start noticing what comes along. What are the thoughts that are wandering in and out of your brain? Keep noticing those thoughts and just, like leaves on a stream, acceptance commitment therapy, we're just letting them flow. We're not doing anything with them. We're letting them flow. We're just watching it go by. And then we want to incorporate the body scan. So again, where are you at with your body? What is tense? What is not tense? What is calm? Start connecting back to that body. Then use some valid data points or some mantras or phrases like, I am calm, this moment is enough, I am here, I am present, I am now. Find what works for you. Valid data points are, I am sitting on the floor. I am comfortable. I'm not comfortable. I want to move. I'm finding my comfort. I am seeking growth. So we're using things to continue to encourage us to be there. Then we're building in a sense of gratitude. So we're acknowledging what we have done, that we spent 30 seconds with ourselves to notice our breathing, notice what our body is. We're giving ourselves some love and attention and nourishment. And then we're gratitude. We're being grateful for that experience. And then what we're wanting to do is to do this regularly. So atomic habits, we want to build in time where we can do this. This will be really great to do this first thing in the morning. And I'm going to give you later this week, you're going to get a routine checklist, a morning routine checklist. So go into the descriptions and take a look at that. It will it will provide you with a lot of things so that you can check off and you can start seeing and building those atomic habits. That is what I have for you. There's a lot of good here. You're starting off small. You're not taking anything too big. You're just learning the beginnings of being present. I am Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much. Hi, it's Jennifer Evans. I hope you are liking my videos. If you do, please comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. If there's topics that you're just dying to know about, and why do I do this and why do they do that? I would love to answer them. I do come from a cognitive behavioral background, but as we see in some of my videos, I love object relations. I love attachment theory. I love Erickson and his psychosocial developmental theories. So I do pull from a lot of different places in order to kind of build out that our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors, something triggers it, and there's always a consequence after it. And that is the beauty of life and why we have a lot more control over our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors than we give ourselves credit for. This is a huge passion of mine, a calling, if you will. And I am here to support you. I've written 2 books, and I've got, the goal is 3 a year. So I've got several that are coming out in different, on different topics. But what we have right now, and you can go click on the Amazon link in the video descriptions below, but we have Saying Goodbye to Bad Brain. This is going to go and teach you everything you need to know about your negative narrative. So if you feel like life is hard and it just feels like you don't understand people or you don't understand why somebody you love keeps making the dumbest mistakes and decisions, what is their problem? They have bad brain. Go read about it. Find some empathy. find some grace, because that is just them recapitulating their past. And we do it for ourselves and other people do it to us. And so when we know what they're doing, it makes it feel a lot less annoying and a lot more like we have agency over those experiences. So saying goodbye to bad brain. I also just released, and I'm very excited, is key steps to living a happier and healthier life. This is a workbook that is going to help you define what your values are, what success is for you, and what your vision of success, and it is going to go through everything that stresses us out and makes us live in suffering and despair, allow that bad brain to get involved, and instead of living in the present. So this will go through all the main things: building a work-life balance, being able to be good enough, finding radical acceptance, decision making, which who would have thought that that was something, but it really breaks everything down that prevents you from living a happier and healthier life, and then allowing you to challenge those thoughts so that you can. So these are the key skills. So in my practice, I take the ABC model from Albert Ellis, through CBT. And I kind of open it up to this kind of overarching trajectory. And so we have awareness, acceptance, action. So the 3 A's of my treatment support with others, whether that's coaching or in therapy, through my books, and I have success groups as well. So I've got a lot of supports, and I use the same model. And that is, we need to build awareness about kind of why we do the things we do. We accept it. We don't agree, but we accept, okay, this is kind of my trajectory. I can see how it all comes together. I see trending patterns. I see how I act the same way. Actually, I get frustrated, but yet I'm acting the same exact ways because it is predictable, because that's my brain. It's bad brain working. It's a really good book. And so then we have action. And so I teach you lots and lots of ways to understand what the brain is doing and how to counter, how to challenge, counter, and do opposite actions. And so we have lots and lots of ways. The Bad Brain book has tons of ways in which we do that. And then the workbook has ways to start reflecting. We have exercises, activities, and journal prompts. And this book will actually, Key Steps to Living a Happier and Healthier Life, will follow my success group. So it is a 6-month success group. We break it down into 9 weeks. This is part 1, is living a happier and healthier life. Then we're going to have, we also have a part 2 section and a part 3. So you can come in at each of those sections, and it will have a continuous flow. Part 2 is our emotional regulation. So we're really looking at the relationship we have with ourselves and how the bad brain comes in and makes us reactionary, and how to calm and be more action oriented. Part 3 is interpersonal skills. How do you relate with others? How do you make yourself available? The key to life is you can't control the outcomes. You got to put all those processes out there. How do you put yourself out in that process to help others and to let others help you? That is section 3. We do have a subscription program, so accountability is everything, and it is in my first part of this workbook. So you can sign up, go to my website, counselingwellnesssolutions.com. It is in the description, and check out all of these great programs that I have set up to help everybody live a happier and healthier life, no matter where your state of change. Thank you so much. Please like and share my videos. I would appreciate it. Thank you.